Hi, I'm Rob,
And I'm Angie.
and together we are TwinFinity.
And this is Cookie looking miserable.
Cookie's absolutely not looking like she's enjoying this. She got a new
A new
leash,
Santa outfit.
Santa outfit, and and she actually doesn't really mind wearing it. What she really is unimpressed with is the thought that it took us
Oh,
probably 15 minutes to get there.
yes, and I took this off too soon. I thought we were done, but we're not done. Now, it is New Year's Eve that we're doing this video, and hopefully you will actually get this video on New Year's Eve. It just depends if technology cooperates and it uploads nicely.
Poor dog.
But the reason we actually are still in our Santa and Christmassy outfits is because it's the year of COVID and we have nobody to take our annual Christmas picture.
So, what we normally do, I'll let Angie tell more of the story, is we get a Christmas picture, and then Angie goes to the effort of putting together these Christmas ornaments with our picture on the inside, depending upon whatever's happening.
Yes, every year we do one. But we haven't had a Christmas picture this year because we are not allowed to socialize. So we have nobody to take a picture of us. So you guys get to be in our or part of our annual picture for 2020.
See, what we're going to be doing is eventually Angie's going to find a screenshot of everything that we're doing here.
Yes. Just one. So here.
Yeah.
Here, Cookie.
Angie.
So bear with us because we're going to get Cookie to participate. And we're going to hold up our 2020 ornaments.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and not block the dog. It's really hard when you got to go backwards.
Yeah.
There.
I think we got one.
There we go. We got a 2020 picture. Now the dog can stop suffering with her little hat that she hates.
Of course. I'm now getting a leg wash just because she needs to feel better. You know, us extroverts can be that way. When we're feeling distressed, we go be nice to everybody else just so that we can feel better.
Yes.
So.
Me and my two extroverts here. So, on that note, thank you for obliging us in our Christmas picture.
Do I now get to take off this blinking hat?
You can take off your blinking hat, and I can take off my Angel Santa hat, because it really is no longer Christmas. It is New Year's. So, Happy New Year. We'll be hopefully one of the first to wish you a Happy New Year, although depending on where you live in the world, you don't know.
Yeah.
It might already be 2021 for you.
2/3 of the world. Okay. Yeah, this is New Year's Eve for us. It's about 5:15 in the evening for us, which means 2/3 of the world's population has already said Happy New Year. Started with Australia. We got up out of bed in Australia already.
We're slow in Canada.
Already said Happy New Year. So we could have watched Happy New Year's all the way around the world. In fact, that'd be probably fun to do sometime. We could watch every time zone's worth of. No, that would be way too much. I'd be asleep by the time our new year got here.
So before we dive into question and answers, which we again have been remiss on doing.
Not terribly remiss, but a little bit remiss.
We missed. This was supposed to be done in November, but quite frankly, I still am suffering from burnout. And what I used to do in like a week or a day or a whatever takes me 3 times as long right now because I just need a lot of rest. So I'm honoring that. So if we don't do as many videos, I'm sorry. It's nothing personal. It's just me taking care of myself.
And before I also get started into reading questions, some of the questions are really short and sweet, and other questions, the person had to send the question with some story so that the question could make sense. Some of these questions are incredibly long on paper. So I'm going to attempt to cut them down to some form of size and still have them make sense.
Yeah.
If I have to backtrack and try again, don't be surprised. I'll forgive me. Please do.
One more thing before we actually get started on questions. We've had a couple of you in some of our other videos, whether they be question and answer videos or some of our 11 videos, if you're familiar with those, ask us if we could put timestamps for every question or every point in the 11 videos. And whenever I am asked something like that I'm like, internally I go, ugh, no, I don't want to do that. I meditate on it to find out, is my ugh part of why I'm not supposed to, or is there guidance that I should be following? So I meditated and I was told not to for 2 reasons. One, because it would distract people from watching the whole thing and they might miss information that would be helpful, because if you want to just maybe go to one question or one point in an 11 video, then you're going to maybe miss other pieces. And 2, for me personally, why I go ugh is because it's enormous amount of time and energy for me to do that. And most of you know this, some of you might not, you might be new to us. We do not offer any sort of coaching services or any services. We just do these videos because it's our mission.
Yeah.
We do them completely out of service. We don't get paid. We don't ask for any sort of money. And they take, quite honestly, a lot of my time. So I'm willing to give some of my time, but I'm not willing to give an enormous amount of my time by doing all this extra work that would require putting timestamps. So if that's something you want, you're welcome to watch the video and then add in the notes or the comments timestamps. If you want to do that to help other people, great. But at this point, I will not do that, just because then I'd have to watch the whole video and take a note of every question. So
Every spot.
Yeah.
Every potential link point.
Totally fair question, and because we've had a few people ask it, I thought I would address it to everybody.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's just better to stick to the point.
Yeah.
And I've found that if we stick to the point of doing our videos and at least putting them out there without having to delay for this and everything else, a lot of times there's something called divine timing, and sometimes if it takes a day to put out a video, or it only takes 3 hours to get a video prep to put out, it's all for reasons that we never understand.
Totally.
And
they end up out when they're supposed to.
And I would hate to muddy up the energy water by throwing too many steps in the way.
Yeah.
So it's not that it wasn't a great idea to put in timestamps.
No, it's an awesome idea.
You know, if I was, let's say, retired, I would probably learn how to do that myself. It would take Angie years to teach me how, so I don't know how that would save her time.
I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah, right. Good luck.
Me, technology. I tend to break technology as opposed to use it.
Yes. Now, one last point.
Uh-oh.
I know, it's going to be 15
point?
minutes before we actually get to the questions. Another question we've had a lot of people asking us lately is, can we do a video on merging, the twin flame merging? Yes, we will. We're not sure yet if we're going to do it as an 11 video or if we're going to just do it as a video about merging, but we will definitely do that because we both have sort of different experiences to share, and it's a great topic. Samo has asked, we're allowed to say his name. In fact, he's like, say my name, I'll feel famous. So Samo, you have asked, Heather has asked, and I think 3 or 4 others of you have asked as well. So we will eventually do a video on twin flame merging.
Boy, can I be a little pathetic?
Yes.
You know the videos that we do, I'm going to say over there. I'm pointing over there to a different spot that we do videos.
With
and
the 2 hearts?
With the 2 hearts?
That are right over there?
It could be one of those.
Yes,
yeah, one of
be.
the information style videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
options.
our backdrops are within sight of each other. Because we just use little bits and pieces of our basement or upstairs to do our videos.
Or outside.
Or outside.
Okay, so enough of announcements and answering your questions that weren't actual questions for the video.
And you know, if this was a normal year, we would be having friends over right now to celebrate New Year. But we've got this whole evening open because our wonderful, famous COVID has made it against governmental policy to have people over into your house.
Yes.
In fact, right at this point in our part of the world, it's even illegal to gather outside. That's how rough things are.
Welcome to 2020.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see 2020 go. It wasn't that terrible, but it also wasn't that great.
Yeah.
It's just, it was a year of extremes. What was good was really good, and what was not good was pretty crummy.
We should get on with it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We can do that.
We are actually doing a question and answer video. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, I can't even see how far we are into it.
That's because I took that off. Look at that. We're like 8 minutes, or is that?
That's 9. Hey, we're almost 10 minutes in.
That's pathetic.
I should have babbled for a bit longer. We could have been 11:11 and then started our first question. I won't do that. So anyway,
the eye roll is about to begin.
The first question.
Let's get rid of that. on our end.
When your twin flame is awakening, can the other feel it? Is there large amounts of energy? What does it feel like?
Simple answer, yes. Yes, you can definitely feel it, especially for those that are very empathic, very highly sensitive. I felt it in a couple ways when Rob was awakening. I felt like a rush of energy going through me, like almost like a quickening. Um, Telepathy was also like super huge, off the charts, so that can be very common too. Some people feel it as like heart flutters or like heart chakra kind of exploding. um, can feel so many things. There's really no endless list, because it just depends on who you are, what you experience, what your twin's experiencing. You might experience them, starting to have little aha moments, and as they're having those, you have your own aha moments, or you have the same aha moments they're having. So there's all sorts of things that can happen, or how you can experience it.
Now, on my side of this question, for me, I didn't consciously feel it. But at the same time, as Angie was especially starting to learn about the twin flame journey, she came on my mind more often, and
Yeah.
it was a time that actually started to draw us back together. And it wasn't until we were able to compare notes once we were both more aware of the twin flame journey that I started to realize that, yeah, as Angie was especially stepping towards the twin flame portion of awakening, that's when I started to be a lot more curious as to how she was actually doing. I would sometimes go weeks without really thinking of her very much, and then as she was starting this part of the journey, she was on my mind every day or two. So, yeah, I felt it, but I didn't know what I was feeling. Didn't know why I was feeling it. It wasn't until after that I was able to connect all the dots.
Yeah.
And this large amounts of energy? I'm going to say that it is a large amount of energy, but sometimes you can have just like blowing a puff of air on your hand. You can have a small puff of air, but because it's concentrated, it hits hard. It hits hard. Other times there's a large amount of energy, but it's the same amount of air breathed out, but you can barely feel it, but there's still the impact of it. So it depends upon how close you are to those feelings, whether they hit you sharply or whether they just hit you as a dull, blunt wave of energy. But yeah, if it's big enough to stir into your conscious, it's a lot of energy.
Yeah, for sure. Can be. All right, are you ready to attempt this long question?
I'll
And
try.
try and abbreviate it a bit.
I'll try long question number one without stumbling through
We
it
have
too much.
3 long questions this round, so we'll try and, well, I say we, but it's really Rob that will try and, what's the word? Condense, ad lib?
Try to, yeah.
Not ad lib, but I don't know.
It's
You know.
Yeah. This is one of the rare times where I've read through the questions, and boy, am I glad that I did. I would have had to cancel and start over again. Okay, let's give this a shot. I met my twin flame 4.5 years ago, and 3 years in, I sent him a message, and while I wasn't really looking for any specific info, it was revealed to me that he was married and had a child. This apparently was quite hurtful for this individual. I told him that I had reached forgiveness towards him for keeping this information from me, and that it did take some time to get to this forgiveness. I also said that my long-term intentions were for us to be honest with each other, and that we would create a safe space so that he could share anything with me and we could both heal. I haven't heard from him in the past 1.5 years since I sent him this message. I have reached out every 3 or 4 months with unrelated messages, like sharing a beautiful picture or whatever, and I have heard nothing. This person with the question has been asking for some guidance as to what to do, and especially as to whether or not to tell them that they are TFs. Although the person asking the question also threw in a note saying that it is not realistic, I suppose, to tell him that we are twin flames because he has not been receptive to me. This is one of these questions where someone has already had their trust broken. They thought that they had wide open lines of communications, and then a bombshell of being married and having a child was revealed along the way. It is pretty, I'm going to say wise in a sense, to work towards forgiveness and to try to leave those open lines of communication for the future open.
Yeah.
But to tell the person, now there's the main gist of the question. Do you tell the other person that you believe that you two are twin flames when there's been a long time without contact? Do you have any feelings on that?
I personally wouldn't tell them because first of all, what you have to do is go back to why would you be telling them? What's the purpose? Is the purpose to actually have them know what your connection is? Or is the purpose to have them, give them something so they finally come back and start communicating? So that's your first question to ask yourself. But in my opinion, at this point, it's way too soon. It's too early in their, obviously, if they're not ready to communicate, they're not ready to communicate. Having this knowledge is not going to make any difference to them. In fact, if anything, it'll probably push them further away and cause them to communicate even less.
I completely agree with that. On the basis that you've already lost communication from the disclosure of a relationship and child bombshell. If you want to build long-term intentions of honesty and trust and being able to speak about anything, the thought of being twin flames is a rather large announcement.
Yeah.
And you have to really work your way up to that. That's not something that you are going to be able to say, oh, welcome back into my life. And by the way, we're twin flames.
Yeah. We have this unique soul connection.
Yeah. They're going to go, why did I get back in touch with this person again?
Yeah.
Well, what's all this complication about? Yeah, no. Disclosing that a twin flame relationship is what you believe that you two have is something that needs to be near the end of the communication building chain. Especially, it would be helpful if you've also had a couple of other stumbles and have learned how to recover from that, because it's a big announcement.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
What I would do instead of telling them or even trying to communicate with them, sorry, I just bashed you with my ring, is work on your own communication with yourself. Work on your own communication, knowing that twin flames are often mirrors for each other. Maybe start asking yourself some questions like, why is my twin not communicating? Whether it's with me or somebody else, what does that show me about me? Do I need to work on my communication, either with myself, with other people, with being honest with myself, with learning to know my own truth, with learning to speak my own truth, maybe? So let go of them for a bit. I know that's advice nobody likes to hear because we want to have the focus all on them. But if you can put the focus back on you, don't worry about where they're at, what's going on with them, why they're not communicating with you, and just focus on your own communication skills. Like I was just saying, are you communicating with others in a healthy way? Do you need to learn to communicate with yourself better? All of these things. Work on yourself. And don't worry about trying to figure out where they're at. They will come back in their own time, in their own way, when the time is right.
And even if your twin flame is married, or let's say even was married, and let's say they're divorced now or permanently separated by some means, and they still have children in their lives, they've got a lot on their plate. And it's going to take them a long time as well to learn how to build trust.
Yeah.
So if the long-term goal is to build that honesty and trustworthiness, stick to that. Let's call that a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And wait till that is mastered, like not just mastered once, but let's make sure that it's something that is a firm foothold before you step a whole lot further. That would almost go for almost any scenario when it comes to broaching the topic, or when to broach the topic of twin flames and what they are in their existence. It's usually very mind numbing. You don't want to do that way too early. You don't want to do that too early at all.
For sure. All right.
Next question.
Here, do you want this off? You're probably roasting now.
Poor dog. Yeah, we're here with a flame right behind us, and
Santa outfit all gone.
And the dog is in her outfit, and she is close to the fire, and I think the dog was starting to overheat.
Yeah.
She was giving us that look.
Okay.
Okay, this one. It's a question for Angie.
Question on your story videos. Angie, your meditation seemed especially powerful. Can you do a video on your meditation techniques? I'm starting a meditation practice, but communication with my guides would be especially useful. I'm curious what techniques you use and or how long you meditate each day. Can you describe what it felt like when you and Rob's energy had merged?
There we go again.
We'll save that question as a separate when we finally do a merge video.
Okay.
So as far as meditation's concerned, this is actually a very interesting question to ask now because my meditation practice currently is no different than what it was before, and I don't do anything unique or special. I literally sit. For me, I have what I call my meditation / Reiki room. I see Reiki clients, local ones only, just so we're clear. And so it's also my meditation room. So I sit in there morning and night, pretty much every day, and I meditate for sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 25 minutes. It totally depends on how I'm feeling, what's going on, how much time I have in my day. If it's a work day, it's sometimes shorter. And I do nothing but sit, close my eyes, and breathe. I don't listen to any audios. I don't do any specific breathing techniques. Like there's different things where you can breathe in one nostril, breathe out the other, or inhale, count to 4, exhale, count to 4. There's all sorts of different things. I don't do any of that. I have done, but as for when I was doing this work and getting so much information, was doing nothing different than what I'm doing now. And my meditations right now are very not deep. I'm not getting hardly anything. I can't get hardly any guidance, even if I'm asking for it, like I was then. So it's not so much what I was doing. It was simply the time of my life that I was in. I was getting a lot of guidance because I was ready for it and because there was a lot happening. Rob and I were just coming into union slowly. I mean, it took us quite some time, in some of this preparatory meditation time that this person's asking about. But I was getting a lot of guidance because I needed it at that point. Right now, even though I'm asking for guidance, I'm not getting it because I don't need it. It's just I'm at a totally different time in my life. So I can't really answer the question in terms of big secrets that I was doing because I wasn't. And I don't know, I can't say for other people, maybe you're not going to get a whole lot because you're not needing it right now or you're not ready for it. It might be like I was, I don't know. But I just know back then it was so intense. I got so much information. I was given so much guidance on what to do with Rob, what to do with my, at the time, becoming ex-partner, how to navigate the house stuff. And so much information came to me. Right now we're just doing like a basic kitchen reno, and we've had sort of 2 people that we could have gone with, and I kept asking for guidance on who do we go with. Like, I want a good quality job done. I couldn't get anything other than ABC, and I'm like, well, what does that even mean? And now it's all worked out and we understand. And I didn't need further guidance because it just fell into place. I didn't need somebody to go, okay, we'll pick this one or do that.
Guidance, like for example, the ABC thing, I really want to interject here. Guidance can really have multiple meanings. We were trying to take ABC and trying to make a person's name like initials, or combining a business name with a person's name and somebody else, trying to go ABC or whatever. We tried that, and ultimately, in the end, it seems to me that ABC has just meant simplicity.
Easy. It's all going to just fall into place.
It's just going to work.
And it has.
It wasn't like we had to go find it. It wasn't like it had to come find us. We just had to let it happen.
Yes.
And once we just started to let it happen, it was just as easy as ABC.
Yes. So
how are you supposed to ever get a message out of
that? Right. So the point is, you can get enormous amounts of guidance when you need it, or you can get what I just got, which was very basic guidance that you don't even understand, but it might make sense later and mean a whole lot at some point. So I guess the point of trying to go through all this little bit of a story is to say, don't worry so much about trying to get so much guidance, trying to hear so much or feel so much, or what techniques to use. The way I tell people is just sit and breathe. Just listen to your inner self. The more we're trying to force getting guidance, the more we don't. Because then you're not in that state of receptiveness and being able to receive what is offering. If you're trying to force it, then you're not allowing, right? So don't worry about trying so hard. Don't worry about what message you're wanting to come through. Just be in the moment of breathing, being with your inner being.
Is it okay if I get myself in a little bit of trouble?
It's been a whole day of it. Why stop now?
Angie has just given a very, very good and very diplomatic answer. I'd like to charge a little bit more to the core, and I'll try not to be harsh with what I say, because I actually mean it in the most gentle ways.
All right. Oh, I didn't turn my sound off on my phone.
Spirituality and learning about spirituality and connectedness, it's really hard to take a university course on it.
Yes.
It really is. It's not like you can ask someone else, what do you do, and therefore it's going to be successful for me.
Right.
This is part of the reason why we haven't got into coaching, is we realize that sometimes what we have learned has been good for us and good for others, but we can't inflict what we've learned into somebody else's journey with a great deal of hope that it's actually going to work. Sometimes it's going to resonate, sometimes it won't. The person who asked this question says that they're starting a meditation practice. This to me says that this person already has skills that they trust in. And I would say build on your own skills and let other skills come to you. People can make comments. You can ask for comments. But some things are going to work for you. Some things are going to be filed for future reference, and other stuff is not going to sound like it's of any use to you whatsoever. I'd say stay in your own confidence with what you know already. And yes, just let the information come to you as it is ready to.
Yeah, that's good advice. Yes.
See, we already have more faith in your skills than you do.
That's right. And your guides may come through in a whole different way than mine did. Maybe meditation for you is about walking in nature. It's not sitting in a meditation room breathing like it was for me, or is for me still.
Yeah. For me, it's being out there and being physically active, where I can just dissociate my mind from my body, let the body do the activity, and the mind goes off and gathers information all on its own. It's a wonderful experience for me. I have great meditations while riding my bike. Go for an hour and a half bike ride, come back totally exhausted, and I realize I can't remember half of the bike ride. I must have done it safely, or else I would have been run over by a truck. But yeah, it's nice to be able to do that, and I feel mentally refreshed when I come back from those bike rides, even though I'm not physically refreshed. I'm done.
Yes. So just allow your practice to be what your practice is instead of trying to make it what somebody else's was or trying to get answers in the way that somebody else got them, because your journey might be completely different.
Okay, next question.
Yes, good luck.
Next question is, another one of the good luck questions.
This is why I give him the hard job.
Take sentence number 1 and say it fourth. Take sentence number 17 and say it second. Here I go. I don't even have the numbers on a piece of paper. The person who wrote this question knew a TF couple. And what happened is that the divine masculine passed away. The person who wrote the question says that the divine feminine in this relationship was very spiritually gifted, and the masculine and feminine worked together for a long period of time.
Right.
And it looked like that work that they were doing together was very much part of their divine mission. But now that the divine masculine has passed away, there's a question of what would happen if the divine masculine reincarnated right away? Could the divine feminine and the divine masculine from the relationship in the earlier lifetime hook back up and continue on in mission?
Right.
Boy, I really condensed that a lot. There's a lot of other information in there. And if they did hook back up and continue on in mission, how would they deal with their age gap? Now that would almost sound like the actual relationship, like they were a couple to begin with, then he passed away. How would they deal with their relationship? Well, first of all, they'd have to probably get 20 years older from the time the divine masculine reincarnated, so there wouldn't be a 50-year difference. It'd probably be like a 70-year difference.
Yeah.
Unless I didn't read the question properly, which was very, very probable. So what about that? What about one passes away and then let's say they reincarnate? Would they be able to recognize each other and continue on with their mission? I'd like to comment on this first. Then Angie's going to have to bail me out.
Great.
There seems to be a lot of people that have extremely high expectations on what the twin flame journey can actually provide. I come from almost the complete opposite direction, where the twin flame journey is so rarely recognized that to have it recognized once is almost beyond a blessing. And to have it turn around and be recognized again within someone's singular lifetime, like in other words, to lose someone and have them come back into your life after incarnating again, even my imagination, however romantic it can be at times, just doesn't take me that far. It's happened once. That's a big blessing. There is many, many other ways of still being in communication with your twin flame after they've passed away. And from there, I'll let Angie continue on.
Well, I'm going to address the question a little bit differently, because how I understand it through all of the different questions that are being asked is that this person is really confused. Like, wait a second, I thought twin flames were supposed to come together, have a mission, be physically in union, and offer up some purpose or some serving to the rest of humanity. And while that is true, nobody's journey is the same, and we don't know with each twin flame couple that one soul of two people that has split. We don't know what each plan or each couple has planned before coming into a human body. When they're still in soul form, each kind of builds their plan and says, okay, well, we're going for this purpose, and we're going for this purpose, and this is our intention, is to do this. So their intention may very well have been for one of them to die, one of them to pass over or cross over, and still serve from that realm where one of them is still on earth and one of them is in spirit. Their mission might very well still be happening now, and maybe part of their mission is to show people what true union really is. Union isn't just about being physically together. Union is so much grander than that. And that's maybe part of their mission, is to help people understand what true union really is, what maybe also to share with people that death is not an end, like a lot of our society believes. So we don't know. We don't know what their whole purpose was or is. But also to say that just because one does die, one crosses over, it doesn't mean that it's over. Because I think that's what this person is really struggling with. And the question is, like, I thought twin flames were supposed to get together and have a mission. Now what? Like, this person's dead. So how's it going to work if he's got to reincarnate and then they've got years before he's like an adult and then she's old, and how are they going to do what they're supposed to do? That's again where we all as human beings need to expand our understanding of what mission is, what life and death is, what union is, what each person's purpose is, and know that everything is always happening in a divine way for a divine reason. And every twin flame couple has designed their sort of route in their own way. Some of us have designed to be physically together. Have others? We don't know. So if you can, worry less about all the semantics of how this is going to unfold, and just let it unfold. This person, the divine feminine, in this question, this person saying the divine feminine is very gifted. Being that she is so gifted, she will definitely still connect with her divine masculine in enormous amounts of ways, with him in spirit. And they will probably serve an even bigger mission with him in spirit than if he was physically still here with her. That's my guess.
I'd like to focus a little more on the topic of mission. I believe, with all the different things that I've seen with other people in their mission, I believe that mission for many twin flames has started many incarnations ago and is going to continue on many incarnations, or if there's no more incarnations, it'll still continue on in spirit in the future.
Yeah.
The mission can have many different chapters. I could just use Angie and I as an example. I believe that Angie and I, while being on mission here, this is just one chapter of our mission. We were on a previous chapter was before we were incarnated this time around, and there'll be more chapters later, I'm almost certain. So to worry about whether or not mission stopped because somebody died, no, it just changed into a different chapter. The chapter in this case, I could say, would be one person is not incarnated, one person is. One person's trying to continue on without the other. Maybe one is still going to get messages from the one that's from that has gone on to higher or different realms. So yeah, I'm not so worried about whether mission starts and has stopped and could start again, because I believe that our bits here are just a step in the mission.
Totally. Yeah. So did we
I think we got through it.
I'm just gonna, this number 4 question. What is the point of the TF journey? It can't be solely spiritual growth, since there are many other ways to achieve it. I thought it's each pair's mission. I think this is what makes TF journey unique from others of ascension, but now it seems to me that the TF pair may fail for their mission, even if they were capable and gifted. So again, like we were both talking about, the point of the TF journey, just to go back, this is something we kind of haven't addressed. This is how I personally understand the point of the TF journey, is we are one of many different beings here to help with the ascension. So the TF journey is much bigger than just a couple, just that couple and their own small mission and their own little purpose and their own union. It's much grander. It's all about showing people what true love is, and then helping raise the vibration of the planet with that true love. Now, does true love end just because one person has gone back to spirit realm and one person is on earth? Absolutely not. So that might be very much their mission, like I was saying earlier, is to show people and show society, our whole world, what true love really is, that it um, overcomes time, it overcomes death, that true love never, ever, ever ends, even after death. So it's not just about, having the love and having the romance and having somebody to spend your days with and your nights with. This journey is so much bigger than that. We are truly here to help with ascension, and 2020 has been a big part of that, is keeping our vibration high when everything else is falling apart, but allowing everything to fall apart because it needs to. That's a whole other topic. We won't get into that, but it's just about helping hold the highest vibration that we can with the ascension in mind, so that our whole planet can go through the ascension. That's the biggest portion of what Twin Flames, and as I say, many others are here. It's not just Twin Flames.
In that last portion of the question that Angie read, there was the word fail. I cannot see how a person or a couple could fail in their mission.
Totally.
Because if you have spread a little love, spread a little happiness, been even the slightest bit of positive influence in somebody else's life, you don't know what you have triggered in others that would cause a massive amount of success. It doesn't mean that as a twin flame that you have to be the successful one at the journey. If you trigger many other people to be successful in whatever journey they have chosen, whether they're in twin flame or not, that is a pass, not a fail. So without knowing what your mission is, as long as you're spreading love, you cannot fail.
Yes. And I believe this journey, we've even said this in, I think, our last 11 video, is that you can't fail. There is no fail option. You might have to look at what failure and success is differently to see that there is no failure, but we didn't come here to fail. I mean, there's some twin flames whose twin has literally committed suicide. And I know that might sound harsh, and that to them must look like absolute failure. Like, now what am I going to do? My twin's not even here, and they took their own life. They chose to leave. So where does that leave me? It leaves you just in the same place as maybe this person, where the other person died but didn't necessarily take their own life, is that, again, death is not an end, right? So there's no failure. It's just a matter of looking at, like Rob said, how are you touching other people's lives? Or how have this couple touched other people's lives? They probably have in so many ways that we don't even know. They've made so many differences, and they've helped with the ascension in their own way. It's always about learning to see the bigger picture in these sorts of situations. Even, again, to just basically go back to 2020 and COVID. Yeah, we can all say 2020 sucked and we hated it and COVID is horrible and blah, blah, blah. And, if we're looking at it from 3D, that's very true. It has sucked.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people who have been sickened. There's been a lot of people who have died. There's been a lot of careers that have been interrupted. There's been a lot of hardship. There's been an awful lot of hardship.
Yes. But when you can look at it from the bigger picture and know what the higher purpose is, then it really helps to go, oh, I get it. And that's the same for this situation, or any situation where one crosses over to the other side, one's still here, is that when you look at the bigger picture, you know that there is always a purpose, always a reason, always a higher governance and order to everything that is happening. It's just a matter sometimes of trusting it until things unfold, maybe years later.
Remain positive. Really.
Yeah, and now that we're trying to, make light of this whole thing, yeah, it must be incredibly hard when your twin passes on. I can't imagine that would be at all easy. But just know that there is always a reason, always a higher purpose. Oh, this is another one for me.
Another question for Angie.
Yeah.
Whenever Angie gets a question, I usually still have thoughts to throw in.
Yes, you do. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it says, were you ever guided by spirit to let Rob go, or at least be open to new love when he seemed completely unavailable due to a karmic relationship? How did that go and what helped you in that phase? I apologize if this has been asked before. Sending you both lots of love. Oh, thank you. So, yes, I was definitely guided to let Rob go more than once. And none of the times was easy.
Apparently, I let her go once, and she really learned how to do that. So she's been able to do it numerous times in return, I guess.
It was very hard. I can remember, and if I can find this video from our story videos in time to get this video up tonight, because I'd really like it to go out New Year's night if divine guidance allows it. But if I can find the video where this ties in, I will link it above here. But there was, I believe it was 1999 or something like that. Rob and I met in 1997. So 2 years later, I was really struggling with letting him go because years earlier, the angels had channeled so much stuff through me saying that we had a mission. This was like long before we knew anything about twin flames or knew we were twin flames or knew anything about any of this journey. But I was told we had a mission, that we had a purpose, that we were going to help change the world, and blah, blah, blah. And then they were saying, well, you have to let him go. It has to be his choice if he wants to do this or not. And I was like, what? All these years you've told me we have this mission and we have all these things to do, and you've given me visions of our life, and now you say I have to let him go and he has a choice, he can do this or not. And they said, don't worry, you will still complete your mission. And this might also help from the last question. This might help give some peace. They reassured me that I could not fail at my mission, that I would still be able to do my mission, and if Rob was not the one, there would be somebody else. Somebody else would step up to the plate to assist me and work with me. But they said I had to let him go. I couldn't force him to do this. So I finally let him go. I was like, okay, fine. I guess if I can't make him be with me and have this life that I've been shown, then fine. So yeah, I mean, I had years of I had moved on and had multiple other relationships. My last one before Rob, for those of you that know our story well, know that I was with him for 6 years. And I had completely moved on and had complete let go of Rob. I mean, I had let go of Rob years earlier, thinking we'd never have a relationship again. Both of us thought that. Now, there was another piece to that question.
What helped you in that phase? Yes.
Honestly, was trusting my angels, trusting the guidance that they said that I could still do and have the life they had shown me in the images, the writings, all the information they shared with me, in that I could still do it, but maybe with somebody else. So that gave me peace that, okay, like, fine, I got to let this go, knowing that my life might be different than what they showed me, but it can still be at least somewhat the same. So I had to just trust them, trust spirit, trust my angels, trust the guidance I was given.
Did
I answer all of that?
You answered that.
Okay, good.
In fact, you nailed that.
Okay.
Well done.
Well, I just told my story.
Yeah.
There's nothing to nail. But thank you. Okay, do you have any insights?
No.
No?
I'm just gonna let that answer stand.
Okay.
Next question. I didn't actually read this question through very much because it was written in big enough print. I knew that I could probably hack my way through it. This is a scary question. Let's give it a try. I would love to hear your thoughts on why otherwise good men lie to women.
I can't wait to hear this one.
Oh boy. Is it weakness? Is it fear? Is it deep core inability to handle intimacy? Is it a bit of misogyny? All I know is that when it happens from my twin soul, it feels like my self-respect is being compromised, and it does quite a number on me. He's so good at lying, and it is just like a normal part of life to him. I know his intentions are good. I'm going to come right back to that one in a bit. I know he doesn't mean to hurt anyone. Got to come back to that one too in a bit. He and I are in separation across the miles and very good friends. I've been carrying the torch for him and our sacred energy and mission since our affair ended in 2005. But it's okay. I have a pretty full life and an important solo mission. That's important. He also knows about my beliefs regarding twin souls, but as an atheist, he doesn't believe in it or even that we have souls at all. Anyway, I tell myself I'm lucky we are just friends because until and if he ever starts to awaken, I could never be in union with him. Ah, Rob, you go first, please, to respond. Yeah.
You're in the hot seat first
Yeah.
on this one. I like it.
Get handed a question and the hot seat all as one.
Rob, you answer this first. That's good.
Okay. I'm going to skip the comment of why otherwise good men lie to women.
Oh, that's the one I want the answer
I know. Because lying in general is usually a lack of confidence or comfort. That's a little bit where the misogyny would come into this as well. It's a fear. I'm going to call it more of a fear. I like that comment of fear. If a person is absolutely confident in their reality, then they don't have to make up stories around it, which basically what a lie is. They don't have to make up stories around it to make the story feel better for themselves. So yes, I'm going to say it is based upon fear. Now, what a person is afraid of when they're lying, well, just like when the hand is in the cookie jar when you're 4 years old. No, I was just feeling around for the cheese sandwich right next to the cookie jar. I wasn't reaching for the cookie jar. Nope, that wasn't happening. Not at all. No. That is fear of getting in trouble for reaching for the cookie jar. So this person, this divine masculine, obviously has a total lack of confidence of where they are in their relationship, and let's not spread it around for the rest of their lives, what's going on in the rest of their life. Let's just leave it simply in the relationship with the person who wrote the question. There's something about that relationship that makes them very uncomfortable. They are separated by miles, so that is another way of remaining comfortable.
I'll be right back. I'm going to let you continue answering this. I just have to go hopefully find something.
Okay, Angie has thought of something along the way here. So let's go to those couple of comments that I said I need to come back to right away. He's so good at lying, and it's just a normal part of life to him. A part of life that you would know about, not necessarily the part of the rest of their life. Now, chances are, if you get good at doing something and it works in some circumstances, you'll use it in other circumstances. But if he is so good at lying, then how does everybody, or how does at least the person who wrote the question, know that this person is a habitual liar? What they are is they're good at making up very creative lies that almost have a little bit of respectability to them because they're so creative. This person is probably very creative. I would almost guess that they would be an artist or a musician or something along that line. I know his intentions are good. I can't quite buy that. They're probably good for him. How are they good for everybody else? Don't know. Someone would have to explain that to me. Maybe it's the intentions, yeah, that are good for him to make him feel better, give him another, hopefully, different chance of reality to try to springboard from. That obviously it's because it's been identified as a lie, wouldn't be much of a good reality. I know he doesn't mean to hurt anyone. Probably doesn't know that his lying is actually hurting everyone. They're hurting the people that he's lying to. They're hurting himself. That would be everybody.
And I'll just interject here. Usually when you're lying, you're so detached from yourself that you're also then detached from other people. So it's not, I do agree when she's saying, I believe his intentions are good. They probably are. It's just people that are lying and deceiving, it's honestly, they're more lying and deceiving themselves. That's really what's going on. And then their lies explode to everybody else too.
Also, lying tends to have an aura of accountability around it. Now, I'm gonna I'm gonna tread on sacred ground here, because there's also the mention of him being an atheist. Now, there wouldn't be much sacred ground with an atheist. That's where I was kind of laughing at myself. But if there's no accountability recognized to spirit, then a person would only really be accountable to themselves or anybody that calls them out. If nobody's calling them out and they're able to live with their own lies, then they get comfortable with it, then they continue on. If a person has a strong soul belief and understands that what they are learning, or they perceive that what they're learning is then being spread out to the collective, they tend to be much more careful of what kind of energy they bring their direction. So what I'm trying to do is go down the road of asking whether this person is an atheist because they truly don't believe in a soul and a spirit and other forms of, I'd say, higher existence, or are they practicing atheism because that's something else within them that they cannot face, so therefore they're just denying it through a 3D practice? I think you're very right in saying that until he starts to awaken, that you can never be in union with him. Unless you're an absolute rescuer, that's what you'd be taking on as a complete rescue mission. And I think you'd have a low chance of success. This person's going to have to do a little bit of their own self-saving and show it's a little bit of a different leaf before you would even consider the word union. I'd almost take that word and remove it from your vocabulary at this point, because it's about the furthest thing.
Ouch, that's harsh.
I know. I'm having a harsh night. I really am. So yeah, this is a real harsh topic. It really is, because there has been so many times where people have had their trust broken, and that could be through a lie. And sometimes trust being broken can be through a different style of lie, which is just called withholding the truth. So lying and or creating a different reality that is more comfortable, which tends to be where the truth behind most lies happens. It is a big topic, and it can be harsh. It'd be interesting to have these two people together in the same room and to have a discussion with them that was actually allowed to be a little bit lighthearted. Like when someone's called out, if they have a chance to backpedal and understand and know that they're being helped, not judged, and there's a big difference in that, that could really, really go a long way. I think that the liar needs a ton of help. Probably they can't advance without that ton of help. And I would say that because this person is an atheist, they probably are not looking for spiritual advancement. They could probably just use some help in surviving in good old 3D on this fine little planet that we call Earth.
Yes.
Now you ran away for a little bit, and then you came back. What did you do?
It's not related to this question, and this is the last question. So I just want to address something else before we do what I.
Oh! I sense a surprise. I suspect I'm going to be the surprised one. Before Angie goes on, I'd like to just jump right back to about how I dissociate when I ride my bike, like my brain dissociates from my body. I've been sitting here cross-legged, and I have now twice put my foot painfully asleep because I don't know that I'm putting my foot asleep until it just screams loudly at me. So I've got to move a little bit.
So This is a sensitive topic I want to address, and it's not meant specifically for this question, but I've been guided to bring this up for quite some time now. And maybe we'll do a video separately on this. I don't like to promise that we'll do videos because with my energy lately, I just do what I can do. I have so many videos I would love to do, but right now, and my focus and my brains are just not into topics the way I'd like them to be. But anyway, just a bit I would like to address, again, not at all directed at this specific question, but just in general, is that there may be a lot of people out there who think they are with a twin flame and they are not. I am not saying that to call anybody out. I am not saying that to have you doubt your own knowing. I'm actually saying this to help you get into your own knowing even further. I'm just finding there's so many people that are questioning what is the difference between a true twin flame and a false twin flame or a narcissist, and I would love to someday do a video and explain more about the narcissist, because both of our previous people were narcissists. And a narcissist is not the horrible person we think they are. No. In a sense they are, but they are the biggest gift to this journey. But it is my belief there are some people on this journey who think they're with their twin flame and they're putting up with a bunch of crap, a bunch of abuse, a bunch of poor treatment because they think it's their twin flame. And they're staying and allowing themselves to be treated poorly because they think, well, this is my forever love. I have to stay and I have to help them and I have to rescue them. No. It doesn't matter if it's your real twin flame, your false twin flame, your whatever you want to label anybody. This journey is first and foremost about self-love. Standing up for yourself. Some people don't like the word boundaries. Some people think, no, you don't need boundaries. Whatever you want to call it, it's simply about self-worth. Having self-worth, having self-love, allowing people to treat you in the best way that you want to be treated, and vice versa, treating others in the best, kindest way you can. But it's not about sweeping all the ugliness under the carpet and just going, oh, well, they have this issue, they have that issue, oh, they treat me like crap, they lie to me, they abuse me, they cause me a bunch of harm, verbally or physically, but I'll stay because they're my twin flame. Absolutely not! And I'm sorry to get so wound up about this, but I'm seeing it more and more, how people are just putting up with this crap, and it's time, it's got to stop. Whether it's your twin flame or not, it doesn't matter. Drop the labels and remember self-love. Period.
Yes.
Okay.
Boy.
What a way to end a video.
Yeah, we both finished a little bit on the harsh note. Aw, sorry, folks.
Happy New Year's Eve.
Happy
Harsh
New Year.
note.
Yeah.
We've had a week off already. You think
Yeah,
we'd be
we've
all
had
like mellow and calm. We do a video and we're like, ah!
No, a week off means that you wander around your house for 3 days and find 74 things to do, and then realize with the time you have left, you got time to do about 12 of them.
Yeah, we're sad. We only have 3 more days off.
Life would have been simpler if I would have just stayed at work this week.
Now, on the note
Yeah,
of...
I found the surprise.
Yes. Yes.
I'll let you lead.
Okay. We just wanted to wish you a Happy New Year. If it's already New Year's for you, that's okay. Happy 2021. Know the whole COVID is not going to go away and the world's going to be completely different just because we changed clocks and we changed calendars. But it is a new year and it is a time to create something new in your life, however you like, or whatever rituals you have for a new year.
And if 2020 was just not a year worthwhile doing over, yeah, that's how I usually judge a year. Would I do that one again? Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's maybe. This one I'd skip, but I think I've had worse years. I've had worse years than 2020. Not many, thankfully. But if you're wondering where to put 2020 in perspective, give it a year. Look back and see where it fits in. Give the year a year.
Give the year a year, yeah.
Yep, give it another year to go by, and you'll see a lot of people will start to see where 2020 had an impact on their lives, and it wasn't all bad. No, there'd be some.
There's a lot of clear vision that's going to come out of 2020.
Yeah, which just sort of like for smoke bombs goes off, you got to wait for the smoke to clear, and then there's something new here. I can work with this.
Yes.
So anyway, we ready?
Yes.
Happy New
Year! We just
scared our poor dog is going, what the heck just happened?
What did you do?
Sorry, Cookie.
All right, we love you guys. We wish you the best of 2021, and we will be back with more videos.
Bye.
Bye.